What's up, SNA fans? Sorry about that. Like, it just ended before it can even hit an hour mark, but no matter. Like, I'm gonna continue talking about what else happened. Like, right after Swerve Strickland bought up the flyer of Darby Allin being banned from the building. That's where he like hit my music because it's his match, which was the match of the night. And I was like, Nick Wayne, like I was like, next time if he fights Swerve Strickland, it'll probably be for the AEW World Championship. And I'll say if it's gonna be anytime soon, I don't think it'll be the winner. It did show that that Nick Wayne was being simply like a mini version of Christian Cage. Well, what Christian Cage is about to do at AEW Double or Nothing. But yeah, this is where Nick Wayne showed that he has plenty of talent and he's like a future main event star in the All Elite business or anywhere in the world of professional wrestling. This start off with Swerve Strickland getting the first offense by throwing him on the outside, hit him face first while on the Simba the Steel Steps, kicks him right onto his right underarm. This is where Strickland and grab onto his belt, and this is where he tried about to give him a butt whooping, like if he was still like 9 years old, I guess you could say. But this is where then we got Swerve Strickland, and it takes off the padding on the turnbuckle pole, like the one that holds up the turnbuckle pad. This is where he tried to put. This is where it hits him, trying him face first right onto the exposed part of that little pole. This is where Nick Wayne's are grabbing on it so he won't get hit in a very bloody mess. This is where we got Swerve Strickland and that gets elbows right into the midsection. This is where then we got Nick Wayne to try to charge at Swerve, but this is where Swerve flapjacks him right back in the ring. When they were on the apron, this is where then he hits a shoulder tackle right onto the Prodigy. This is where then he picks up Nick Wayne. This is where right after slapping him a little bit right in the back of his head. This is where then we got Swerve Strickland and try to go right at the Prodigy Wayne. This is where then Nick Wayne then hits a forearm right to the face of Swerve Strickland. This is where Swerve will get an elbow strike right to the face. This is where then we got the Prodigy Nick Wayne to go for a springboard drop kick. This is where then he goes right up on the top rope. This is where he tried to go for a swift kick, which he hit him right into the jaw. This is where then he goes right up for a moonsault right onto the AEW World Champion. This is where he spins him around, trying to go for a spine buster, but he gets instantly DDT'd right into the face, right onto the concrete floor. This is where they were both down. And it seemed like that Nick Wayne harmed more of him than he did to his opponent Swerve. This is where but they managed to get back in the ring. This is where then we got Nick Wayne get the offense, did a snapmare roll right onto the AEW World Champion, hit a back chop right into the back, hit a knee strike right into his back on top of Irish whip right to the upper right side. This is where he started hitting some running strikes right onto Swerve Strickland. This is where then he hit another one. This is where then he grabs onto the AEW World Champion. He was trying to be like DJ Khaled to hit other ones. This is where then he put Swerve Strickland right onto his knees when he was in the bottom left side of the corner. This is where they try to go for a house call, but this is where the Swerve Strickland grabs onto his leg. He's like, nope, no insult to injury. He's like, you already did that by crushing my glass portrait of me and my family. And this is where Swerve Strickland was very angry. Like, it's already bad enough he did that, but he's not going to do more insult to injuries. And he grabbed onto his leg. This is where then he tried to go for what looked like a dragon screw slam, but this is where Swerve Strickland flips right out of it and go for a regal plex, more likely a regal plex backbreaker. This is where the Swerve Strickland picks him up into a power bomb, puts him right on the shoulders into a fireman's carry, hit the spirit bomb, the Big Bang Catastrophe, like his former tag partner that he won AEW Tag Team Gold when they were known as Swerve and Our Glory. This is where then Swerve grabs onto Nick Wayne. It is where then he said, like, if you're still angry from that time that I broke into your house and went to your backyard and beat you into a bloody pulp, like, I want to say I'm very sorry about that. And then this is where fans were saying, whose house? Swerve's house, like if they're Prince Nana, but what they did not know, what to see next. But anyway, this is where we get Swerve Strickland going right onto onto Nick Wayne, hit the swerve or the house call, not the swerve stomp. This is where he goes for the pin onto Nick Wayne. He got the immediate 1, 2, 3, and on to give a ginormous big thumbs up and a congratulations to the current AEW champion. And yeah, this was definitely the match of the night. I was thinking to myself, like, if this elite storyline against Danielson and FTR and Darby Allin was not a big deal, I would be asking, like, why is this match is not the main event? It's just perfectly great. Like, it looks like if you can main event it on an AEW Dynamite or a Collision or even on one of their pay-per-views like a Double or Nothing, All In, All Out. Well, I'll say more likely a Double or Nothing or All Out pay-per-view. But let me know down in the comment section right down below on what was your opinions on this match, and do you think this deserved number one, or do you think that any other match like a Bryan Danielson versus Satnam Singh or Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay versus Trent Beretta and Roderick Strong was number one, or or even Thomas Tony Storm and Mariah May versus Harley Cameron and Saraya? Let me know about any of those in the comments. But this is where we got Nick. This is where before Swerve Strickland could celebrate his win against the stepson of Christian Cage. This is where he gets attacked from behind by Kill Switch. I was about to say his old name. But yeah, the right-hand man of destruction of Christian Cage. And this is where Christian Cage and his new wife, Shayna Wayne, don't worry, Christian Cage's wife, that's not really his wife like you are. Like, whatever your name is, I apologize for making a joke like this. This is too personal. But anyway, this is where they get up right up on in the ring. This is where we got Kill Switch to grab him around his neck. This is where they get right up on the turnbuckle, try to choke him to death. And this is where then we got Swerve Strickland then try to finish what they started. This is where Christian Cage then check on his stepson Nick Wayne. This is where we got Swerve Strickland then roll right off of him. I believe he low blowed him and flipped him right over the top rope. This is where then Swerve Strickland then went right after Christian Cage. Once Christian Cage turned around, this is where he's like, I don't think this is good. This is where he chased him out of the arena and even out of the building. This is where Christian Cage then try to put some obstacles in the way of Swerve, but Swerve managed to get out of the way from the obstacles, like from the carts and the manager, Prince Nana himself. And I was like, where the last time we seen him? And most importantly, he must finally got his driver's license, because he drive absolutely perfect onto the spot. And I was like, he can finally drive. It's a miracle. Hallelujah. He no longer have to worry about swerving when he drives. Like, yes. And I was like, thank you, Prince Nana, for also helping Swerve Strickland out, but also thank you for finally getting your driver's license. Like, it's a miracle. This is where Swerve Strickland grabbed Christian Cage out of the car through the window. This is where he tossed him right into the truck right beside them, which was one of the truck they keep all the merchandise or the wrestler's gear on. That's where he hits him right there. He hit him right into the truck. This is where then they start stomping and giving punches, start beating the sugar honey iced tea out of Christian Cage. This is where Christian Cage is trying to hit him elbow right into the face after he picks him right back up. This is where Christian Cage went right onto the SUV. We was about to exit out of the arena, out of the building. This is where I was like, wow, like what is up with Christian Cage getting hit face first right onto both the truck and the SUV, and he's not busted open. Like when The Rock did that multiple times to Cody Rhodes, like he was immediately busted open. Like I don't know what is up with that. It seemed like he got some super strength of not getting easily split open with the red stuff. But anyway, this is where we got Swerve Strickland get kicked right to the face. This is where then Swerve Strickland to follow him up there. This is where he try to go right up on top. This is where the Swerve Strickland and gets hit battered with right hands, but this is where we got Swerve Strickland to keep up with Christian Cage. Did a right hand right back at him. This is where they start playing wrestling tennis on top of the SUV that Christian Cage was trying to escape out of. This is where Swerve Strickland hit the DDT flat and hard right onto the top of the hood of the SUV. And I was like, damn, ruthless. Like if this doesn't bust Christian open right now, like I don't know what can. Like, because he just hit him face first, nothing but a full effect right onto the windshield of the roof of the car. And then this is where Prince Nana then gave him a steel chair. This is where he told him to play a game of concerto, like if he's Christian Cage's former best friend, the rated R superstar Adam Copeland. But this is where Christian before Swerve Strickland can even slam down right onto the chair. This is where Christian Cage escaped like a coward. This is where and ran right back into the arena. This is where we got Swerve Strickland then start smiling and gritting his teeth at the same time. He's like, yeah, you're gonna be running now, but you won't be this Sunday at Double or Nothing. This is where then he gave a big handshake to his manager Prince Nana. This is where they were not dancing or doing any swerve dances or swerving around the parking lot. They were just happy that they took care of the problem at the moment. And do you think Swerve is going to retain, or do you think Christian Cage is going to somehow win the AEW World Championship? And do you think it will be all thanks to of his family, the patriarchy, like if he ever does win, or do you think it will be in his own methods or whatever? Or what's your opinion? Or do you think he has somebody major than any of those options combined? But let's move on to the next slide. We got, I believe, Malachi Black against Kyle O'Reilly. But what's your thoughts on Prince Nana finally driving without swerving? Do you think it's a miracle, or do you think that? Or do you think that it's normal for him to do that? Just normal and plain typical? Let me know down in the comments below. Now you don't have to worry about getting those $600 Uber rides. No offense to you, by the way, about that. Just saying. And now he can just drive himself all across the country, and with him and Swerve touring all around America in all of AEW. And even though he has to rent cars or I'm not sure if he even has a car, but I'll say even though he has to rent cars from every single rental car place, and yeah, I guess you could say it beats taking Lyfts and Uber rides. You can trust yourself, and you don't have to worry about them taking you, getting you lost into a different location, whether if it's on accident or on purpose, if they want to do something harmful to the AEW stars. But yeah. But let me know in the comments below about that, and who's your pick on who's going to win the AEW World Championship down in the comments down below. This is where we get Kyle O'Reilly auto parts. My bad. Sorry about that. I hope we don't sound too similar to Street Profits saying that, but yeah, here's where he was getting ready for his match against Malachi Black, which did not take that long. Even though Kyle O'Reilly gave him a fight that he's probably not going to forget, with Malachi Black think he had him have the upper hand once Kyle O'Reilly tried charging him, but he gets kicked right away. It's where then we got Malachi Black then tried to do something unusual, which it was going for a springboard maneuver. And I think he must have not known what exactly he was doing, because this is where Kyle O'Reilly came in and intervened and picked off Malachi Black's pass, tripped him right over off the middle ropes in the bottom corner. This is where then Kyle O'Reilly then hang off in the. This is where then Kyle O'Reilly's like, okay, I finally got me right where I want you. This is where then Kyle O'Reilly then go for those side strike kicks, like if he was his own version of Bryan Danielson. This is where he needs him right in the midsection. This is where he tried to go for an attic roundhouse kick. This is where Malachi Black ducks out of the way, trips him right over, hits him face first right onto the canvas. This is where Malachi Black started grabbing on his neck, that was so painful. And then this is where then Malachi Black then picks up the former IWGP and Ring of Honor and NXT Tag Team Champion, and then started going for some kicks to the right until Kyle went for a right of his own. This is where then Malachi Black then tried to grab onto Kyle O'Reilly, but kids with Kyle O'Reilly started hitting leg strike. But when Kyle O'Reilly tried to hit the strike, this is where Malachi Black goes faster with his kicks before even more double times more than he did the first time. This is where we got Malachi Black grabs onto the leg of O'Reilly, hits a knee strike right into the face. This is where then we got him knocking him right over onto the left side of the area. This is where he then started throwing him right over Barry's tombstone, right onto his grave. And I was like, man, I know you're into dead people, or in the what's that into like to sad places and gloomy places. But do you really have to be so harsh to Barry right now when he sadly passed away a few months ago? Like, yeah, what a cold world. Like, and it's all thanks to his best friend Brody King, the reason why Barry's dead, and hopefully there will be justice for Barry, even though there was probably a few justice for Barry, but they did everything except kill the guy, because we don't want to do that, because that is illegal. But yeah, let's close out the subject and continue with the match. This is where then Malachi Black then brought him back in the ring. This is where then he goes for. Here's where I believe he tried to go for a signature, but Kyle O'Reilly caught him and to go for the armbar right onto the leader of the to go for the cross arm breaker right onto the leader of House of Black. But this is where Malachi Black flips him right over. This is where he tried to go for a forward roundhouse kick right into the head. This is where Kyle O'Reilly counters out of it. This is where he looked like about to go for a dragon screw slam. But this is where he gets striked in the head with a big vicious elbow strike right onto the top of the head. This is where he hits him with a right knee strike. This is where Kyle O'Reilly gets brainbuster by Malachi Black. This is where the Malachi then go for a pin. Referee got the 1, referee got the 2. But Kyle O'Reilly got the left shoulder up at the last second of 2.99999999999 double triple 9 minus 0.1 away from being 3. Malachi Black sits right back up. He's like, man, like what the hell is going on here? Like why is he not giving up? And this is where we found out Malachi Black got what he wanted, and that was the finish off Kyle O'Reilly. This is where he tried to go for a knee strike, but Kyle O'Reilly blocked himself from getting hit. But once he got his arms away from his head, this is where Malachi Black then rearranged it into into a black mass kick right onto his head, knock his head right clean off, gets the 1, 2, 3, and the winner of this match, Malachi Black. And congratulations to that guy. And this is where partially the lights went off. This is where we got Malachi Black trying to do a celebration, and this is where the lights went on to right onto red and black. And then this is where, like, if the Fiend was there, I was like, how's that possible? Because he's just like Barry Barricade, and no jokes about that. Like, by the way, maybe most likely to Barry, but not to the man that portrayed the role as the Fiend. But yeah, this is where. But seriously, I was like, yeah, it couldn't be him. And then I was like, like don't tell me this is like a tease of a brood, like of the brood, like except without Christian Cage being involved. Only like the rated R superstar himself. This is where they start hearing some weird, crazy heavy metal music, more insane than Malachi Black's music goes. This is where then Malachi Black was like, huh? Where's that coming from? And then this is where Malachi Black then was like if it's Adam, like you better show yourself. This is where the lights kind of went back to white, but more likely on the spotlight side. And then this is where when he looked in the sky, this is where he was pouring on with some on a bloodbath, which was pure bloody red color weird substance like liquid that poured right on him like Adam Copeland did to Seth Rollins and what's his name and The Miz, which except like the brood bath that he gave them was black rather than red. But yeah, he did a red blood brew bath, I should say, right onto Malachi Black. He landed right over him. This is where he starts swimming. It's like, my eyes, my face, like, my whole entire body. This is where then Adam Copeland went right on the screen. He's like, looking like his old OG Judgment Day self back a couple years ago before he got kicked out by the group. This is where he was like, oh, Malachi, like, I'm here, right up here, like, do you see me? Like, be careful what you wish for, like my friend Malachi, my friend. Like, and he started chuckling, started smiling. Like, he's gonna be sorry for doing this to me. This is where he was having trouble slipping right out of the ring. This is where he had the roll around. This is where then Excalibur described it as looked like a crime scene in the ring. This is where, and I was thinking to myself, like it seemed like that Adam Copeland had somewhat of a final laugh, like before the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. And you know what that means. Well, I'm not sure if we will indeed see a new AEW TNT champion. Even though I wouldn't mind Malachi Black being the championship, but you still got to do a like the finish, follow up the story with Adam Copeland going like putting or Malachi Black putting his family into the middle of this, and then he wants to get revenge of that, and we could possibly see his wife Beth Phoenix could help out her husband in order to have him defeat Malachi Black and retain his TNT championship. And I think he still has a more lengthier have plenty of a lengthier run with the title, even after his match against Malachi Black. And I know I said that like the wrestler that had the upper hand and stand up tall on the go home show, like except for John Moxley, like getting the upper hand. Like let's just say that I guess I made a mistake, and there was only two extra more that I got the final say. Like after at the final say, but it seemed like they're not going to win at this Sunday on AEW Double or Nothing. Just saying. But there was only two of them that looks like that had the upper three guys that had the upper hand that get the go home show that could possibly still could win and in their respective matches at the event of AEW Double or Nothing. But yeah, y'all probably will see why once this weekend in the comment section right down below for those that are watching and then watching the Double or Nothing, and then y'all gonna be looking back on this video what I just said about what's gonna be the outcome, who's gonna win and lose at the fifth year anniversary of their Double or Nothing show. But anyway, let's move on to the next slide. We got moving on. We got a vignette of Bryan Danielson of he's saying y'all put a price on my head and trying to do a hit and run situation. Put me in a dangerous situation. Let me say, me getting hit and run and run on, I guess you could say. And this is where and once you took me out, I came right back and I'm still effing here. And then this is where then Bryan Danielson then went on to this. He's like, and he was like, and I'm going to show, and tomorrow on AEW Dynamite, because he sent the video yesterday, which I talked about on my wrestling news video, which I said to you guys, what we were talking about earlier. This is where then we got Danielson like I'm going to show what I got, but I hope that Satnam Singh show what he got. And after this, you're y'all not going to like y'all's consequences that I have for the elite. This is where the This is where then we got FTR and this is where then we got FTR and Bryan Danielson. This is where we got. This is where they start hyping up every match that's going to be the three main event matches of AEW, and I think which was the FTR and Bryan Danielson against. This is where we got Bryan Danielson, FTR, and Darby Allin against the elite of the Young Bucks and Kazuchika Okada and the man of us crying rivers, Jack Perry. And then and they also showed the AEW World Championship match between Swerve Strickland and Christian Cage, and the TNT, the TNT with Adam Copeland and Malachi Black in that barbed wire steel cage match, and the AEW TBS champion Willow Nightingale and Mercedes Moné. This is where they show all that's what's to come on AEW. On AEW Double or Nothing. That's where then we move on to the next slide. We got the tag team match between Timeless Tony Storm and Mariah May, and what's against the returning Soraya. But anyways, yeah, that's what I was saying. Here's where then we got let's see, here we get the tag team match. My apologies. I was trying to fix something right at the moment. But let's see. But yeah, next up we got the tag team matches where we move on to the next slide, like onto AEW Dynamite on May 22nd. With the tag team match, I believe. I could be mistaken. Yeah, no, I'm right. Yeah, and it started off, I believe, with Thomas Tony Storm and Harley Cameron, I believe. Or it wasn't Mariah May and Harley Cameron. No, I think it was Thomas Tony Storm. No, it was Mariah May. Because this is where Mariah made an Irish whip Harley Cameron right to the upper left side. This is where she flips right over, went right to the right side. This is where she tried to close on Harley Cameron, but Harley Cameron shoulder bumps her right into the midsection. This is where we got Harley Cameron, the cartwheel flips right back in the ring. This is where then we got her to go start taunting and talking bad mouth right onto the Mariah May. This is where Mariah May and went right to the right side. This is where then she goes for a sweep on her legs and go for a trip. Hit a middle missile drop kick right onto the face of Mariah. I mean, not Mariah May, of what's her name? Harley Cameron. This is where then we got is where then she grabs on the Harley. This is where she goes for a sidewalk slam right onto, or a spinning sidewalk slam to Harley Cameron. This is where she slams her right to the ground. This is where she picks her up. This is where she put her right on the shoulders. This is where she tried to go for the what's that, the mayhem, I believe it's called, or whatever it's called. Like look like a Death Valley driver leg drop. This or not a driver. Like a Death Valley leg driver. This is where then we got Harley Cameron like, no, like I'm not taking that move. This is where she tags in her partner, which is Saraya. This is where then we got Saraya then started saying hi to Harley Cameron. This is where Harley Cameron just said hi right back at her. She's like, oh hey, I go, hey Saraya. This is where Saraya's like, and this is where then they start saying, and this is where Harley Cameron, not Harley Cameron, I mean, Mariah May was like, okay, like, you ready to fight? Like, and this is where Saraya was like, no, I want your partner. This is where she pointed at Thomas Tony Storm. This is where then we got Mariah May was like, her? Like, you want me to tag in her? This is where then she was like, okay, and this is where she tags her right in. This is where Thomas Tony Storm's like, okay, you better be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. And then she was like, so we met again, Saraya, if that's your real name. This is where then we got Saraya and hit a right forearm to try to shut her up because she was sounding annoying to her. But this is where we got Thomas Storm to hit a forearm right back at her. They were playing this typical wrestling tennis. I'll say not typical. They was playing, I guess, a very cool game of wrestling tennis, I guess you could say, when fans were cheering on Thomas Tony Storm because I guess she's a baby face now, like fully a baby face because she's facing against a heel wrestler right here, which is Saraya. This is where they were cheering on their favorite women's champion, Thomas Tony Storm, and then booing Saraya. This is where they start going back and Storm. This is where she Irish whip her right to the right side, but no, like this is where Tony Storm threw her right to the right side. This is where she got her go for like a Luthez press, like hits right on on to Saraya. This is when she picks up her. This is where she tags in Mariah May. This is where then she snap marries her right into the ring. This is where we got. That's where that she then go for a body slam right onto Saraya. But not only that, she did a body slam right onto with Mariah May on top of her. This is where she goes for a pin. But once she goes for this is where she goes for a pin after she sentoned right onto Saraya. This is where she gotta go for a pin. But this is where Saraya immediately kicks out at 1.1. This is where then she pointed at Thomas Storm's like, "You want to get tagged back in?" This is where Tom starts over like, "You damn right that I want to get back in." This is where she was like, "I now body slam me." This is where then Thomas Storm was like, "Well, what are you doing? Like, you're trying to body slam me, or are you grabbing on something that you want to like to have?" And then this is where Mariah May is like, "What are you talking about?" This is where then Thomas Storm then body slams Mariah May right onto Saraya. Hits back round her back. This is where she goes for an elbow drop right onto Saraya. This is where then she try to go for a pin, but this is where we got the Saraya kicks out. This is where she was sitting down in the snapmare position. This is where then she gets forearm right to the face by Mariah May, gets snapmared right down on the ground. This is where then Mariah May then hits a knee strike right into the face of the former Divas and AEW Women's Champion. This is where the referee was concerned about the anti-diva. This is where then we got Harley Cameron was. I mean, Mariah May was like, "Oh, okay, what's wrong with her? Like, why she's on the ground like this?" This is where then we got Harley Cameron that came from behind, attacks her from behind. She did not care if Aubrey Edwards was there or not. This is where but either way, Tony Storm was very pissed off about it. She was not trying to let this slide and let her beat up her protege. This is where. That's where then Aubrey Edwards was like, yo, what are you doing? Why you're not getting out of your post? That's where she was like, it's because of that witch girl that's trying to poison my daughter, like or my little darling or whatever, something like that. That's where we got Harley Cameron to start slamming the back of Mariah May's head. This is where she was like, "What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it?" This is where then Saraya was agreeing, like, "Yeah, what are you gonna do about it?" And this is where she started doing jumping jacks, mocking both women. This is where then she flip her hair back. This is where she was like, "It's nothing that y'all can do about it." This is where she goes for a headbutt right onto what's her name? Mariah May. This is where she grabs onto her. This is where she picks up Tony Storm. I'm not Thomas. Mariah May. This is where she started kneeing her right to the gut until like she was I'll say until she was like a pinch away from being done with. This is where like the referee Aubrey Edwards was like, "All right, stop it. Like, you're almost done." And this is where she was like, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is where she all right, I'll let go. And this is where we got Mariah May then hit a leg kick right onto the back of Mariah May. This is where then she made her fell right back on the ground. This is where then she grabs onto right onto Mariah May. This is where she throw her face first right onto the bottom right corner side. This is where then she tags in Harley Cameron. This is where Harley Cameron then put her start stomping on her, squeezing her face, keeping her foot right into her face. This is where then she start doing the leg stomps right onto the neck of Mariah May. This is where we get Saraya to go for a headlock, start squeezing her right around the ropes with her neck and throat. This is where Thomas starts like, enough of this madness. Like, come on, Mariah. Like, come on, tag in your idols, tagging your idol in, your number one favorite idol. And this is where Mariah May's like, "I'm trying, but I'm getting what's that being like I'm being what's that word? Taken against your will. What's the name of that? Hostage. They're keeping me hostage right in their lair, which is their corner of the turnbuckle. Like, and then like I'm trapped here. This is where they start doing their double teams right onto their heelish double teams right onto Mariah May until like